there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. He said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book. There were...
Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to our powers, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Give it double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have taught us this truth, that are constantly ruling well through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And peace, mercy, and blessings to all the dear beloved brothers that are out there pushing this word wholeheartedly in truth and in sincerity, that are not wavering to the left nor to the right, but constantly staying on that straight and narrow, fighting for your crowns in these last days that we are truly living in. Even shalom to the few sisters, the aquafs that are out there, those that are listening and learning this silence as the scriptures command you to do so, as well as the Israelite foreigners, those that may look like the other nations, but their seed line is going back into our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm the brother Ira, coming back with another lesson to the Lord's willing, edifying. Feed the lambs of the Lord, which I do pray this lesson is edifying to the Lord's elect. And something big, something major is getting ready to go down. A great deception. And you're going to have a lot of Christians that are going to follow the narrative that is at hand, which is the reason why the government, which when you go into the word government or the definition of government, it goes into what? Mind control. Okay. And Esau has been manipulating the minds of the people, the public, for decades. And they've been giving you drops, pieces here and there to gear your mind towards these gray people, different life forms that have come into Earth's realm, spying on the American people, or even the information they used to bring out back in the day, Area 51, which a lot of individuals have been deemed as conspiracy theorists when they were actually digging up the truth. Okay? So they've been slowly declassifying and releasing information to fool those that are not endowed with the spirit to understand and know prophecy. Okay? And that's what these pastors are here set up as tools to confuse the minds and the hearts of the simple. All right. Now, let me grab this real fast in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 2. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Okay. And all these different talks of UFOs or IFOs or UAPs. Okay. This is nothing more than Esau playing on the minds of the people, just as he's been doing for years. As there's been accounts of people being abducted, and then those that have dug deep into the Pentagon and the alphabet individuals that researching technology that can send radio frequency waves to individuals' minds to manipulate and make them believe narratives and stories. They set them up in the forefront to speak on certain testimonies of them having experiences of being abducted, okay? And those that have came out with the research of finding out about this information of, MK Ultra and mind control and things of that nature have been deemed nothing more than just crazies. All right. And now look where we're at, where, something major's getting ready to go down, where they getting ready to deceive the hearts of the people. Okay. Let me get this real fast as well before I go to this next video. All right. The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 23, it says, "Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is a Mashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." But it's not going to be possible to deceive the very elect of a fake return of the Messiah. Okay. It's not going to be possible to deceive the Lord's elect, because the Lord's elect understand the prophecies that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have revealed unto him, which are the mysteries. All right. And the world doesn't understand the mysteries that are contained in the scriptures. Okay. So it says, "Behold, I have told you before." Okay. So Yahushai, this is in red letter, Yahushai warned the disciples, okay, of the time of his return, what to look for. All right. And we're likening to the same spirit as the men that were before us, because the men are back now today, those that truly believed on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay. All right. And this is why the scriptures say, matter of fact, let's get this, one of my favorite scriptures, Revelation chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." But those that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein. All right. So it's not only just hearing, but you have to keep and believe on these things. Okay. Because we're in those times where a great deception is getting ready to happen. We're in a time where the spirit of apostasy is going to snatch souls. Okay. Those that don't believe wholeheartedly on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua are going to get caught up, okay, and believe in the nonsense that Esau is going to send out there to confuse the mind of the people. All right. Now, what I want to play is this video, which has some information concerning William Cooper. All right, which he was known for going into certain so-called conspiracy theory information, but he was going into the deception, all right, and the lies that Esau been spewing out for years, and look how now that things are being sped up, that a lot of things that he was going into were actually facts. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's check this out.
So we have recent reports on UFOs being spotted and even shot down out of the sky. And many suspect it's laying the groundwork for the so-called fake alien invasion that has been reported on now for decades. A false flag event wherein the public is tricked into believing that aliens from outer space are invading the Earth. In his 1991 book, Behold a Pale Horse, William Cooper claimed that secret groups within the U.S. government have designed their own flying saucer technology and are planning to launch a staged alien invasion in order to create a one-world government.
What I discovered was amazing. What I discovered, ladies and gentlemen, is that there has been a plan in existence since about 1917, and probably before that, to create an artificial extraterrestrial threat to this Earth in order to create a one-world totalitarian socialist government.
Nazi scientist and former head of NASA, Wernher von Braun, reportedly told his assistant, Carol Rosen, that a fake alien invasion will be the final gambit of an ongoing plan to create a one-world government.
And we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system. The first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
The fake alien invasion is only possible if there are advanced technologies being hidden from the public, capable of pulling it off. And there is plenty.
Yep. And, we're in a time where, the Most High has given these Edomites advanced technology, which is the reason why they're spearheading with this advancement in technology as far as the technocracy that they're trying to come with. All right, a fourth, a fifth industrial revolution, and the scriptures go into that. What knowledge, okay, shall increase. All right, let me get that as well. All right, knowledge shall increase. Okay, so we're in a time where, as they've been talking about augmenting people, turning people into robots. You're hearing more about artificial intelligence, transhumanism, right? That's all advancements and integration into a new era of life. Okay. And who gave these Edomites understanding to this advanced technology is the Heavenly Father. Okay. And they're pulling everything out. They're getting ready to change this current system and bring about this new digital age, which is really an enslavement to the world and the Israelites. Okay. All right. And this is why when we understand prophecy, we understand and know that the Most High Yahweh is going to have to send back his son Yahushai, but there's a timeline and a sequence of events that must occur before Yahushai can be sent back to rescue his friends. All right, the elect. Okay, let me see if I can find this real fast. All right, I think it's in Daniel's. Yes, here it is right here. This is Daniel's chapter 12 and verse 4. It says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end," right? Which the book is now open. Okay. "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." Okay. So the knowledge is increased. Okay. All right. And this technology that they've been hiding from the public, that's why everybody is on this campaign, all the rest of the nations, of who's gonna have these semiconductors, who's gonna have these resources to power these facilities, to where they're creating these semiconductors and what power data centers and all this shit that we're hearing about. All right. We're in those type of times, okay? So a lot of the stuff that seemed like it was a conspiracy theorist, then now look how much it just is at the forefront, okay? And you know, we're gonna get some more precepts, all right, going into the chariots. But I just want to play a little bit more. It's only 7 minutes long. Just play a little bit more.
Plenty of evidence supporting this, from the stolen and censored work of Nikola Tesla to that of John Hutchison, and thousands more. According to some sources, these technologies were discovered by back engineering alien spacecraft. But the word alien implies extraterrestrial, not from this Earth. And that's the fake part, because humanity's historical record is replete with non-human species that ruled over mankind as gods. This story is the most prolific story.
Yep, and you know, I was watching Apostle Tahar, you know, and he was going into the website, and the pastors that, you know, that are being scripted on what to tell the public, you know, they had the same precepts that we constantly bring out, you know, the same precepts that the actual chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua are going to be a curse unto this land, unto these Edomites, okay? Revelations 1:7, behold, the Lord cometh with clouds. You know, they had these precepts that we bring out constantly, okay? See, when Yahushua come with the heavenly host and the angels, it's not going to be for the enrichment or betterment of the other nations prospering and ruling, okay? And that's what prophecy will have you to be calm and secure in your mind, to know that when Yahushua comes, he's coming to make war and to destroy and bring down our enemies that are ruling over us, okay? Let me read this real fast because I just want to make this point. Yahushua is coming to make war. The scriptures say one realm versus another. So these chariots that are not of this realm, all right, that are flown by the angels, well, they're coming to also make war with those that are here on the earth that are over, all right, their brethren, okay? Let me get this. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I want to say it's somewhere around 30. Yep, here it is. Yep, here it is. It's 2nd Ezra 13. And 29, it says, behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Right? Who are the them? The elect of the nation of Israel. Okay? The 1/3, the woman and the children. Okay? And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, because see, what the apostles and elders been going into for years is something that has been laughed at, mocked, scorned, okay? Even Jake don't even believe in the powers that they're supposed to be serving, okay? Jake is caught up in sci-fi and, you know, this is not real, all right? It's make-believe, and that's why it's going to be a spooky time when the Lord arrives, because what we've been saying, yeah, there will be a time where a so-called black man cracks those clouds, okay? As the scriptures say, he's going to come with a large shout, and he's going to come with angels that look just like him and us, okay? Those that have been being oppressed, all right? So it's going to be an astonishment to the earth when they see the Lord. And guess what? You know, you go back to Ronald Reagan's speech, right? Just, you know, quoting, if they was an outside, you know, invasion, shall we not pretty much put our differences away and fight together to try to prevail against invading force, because see, they know that the chariots and the angels and Yahweh Shai is real, but this is what they've been withholding and hiding from the public. Okay, so it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. Okay, and this is why when the young man's eyes was opened, right, he got to see that there was many more of us than it was of them. That the heavens was revealed unto him, you know, because you can't see the angels. The angels are there, but they're cloaked, they're hidden, they're invisible, but they're there. Okay, the scriptures say we even have angels that protect us, that are around us, but you don't see them. Okay, but they're there though, you know. So it says, and the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting, but he shall stand upon the top of Mount Zion. Okay, you see? So these are the nations. So when is that time going to be? That time is going to be during World War III. Okay, when the missiles are flying, Yahweh Shai is going to come in the midst of war, and that's when these other nations are going to fight against the Lord. Okay. So it says, and Sion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions in those nations which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and the torment wherewith they shall begin to be torment, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is likened unto me. So when the Lord comes, like they show in that movie Independence Day, right? Except for there ain't going to be no theatrics, there ain't going to be no entertaining moment, there ain't going to be no stopping a chariot, you know. That's all movies, you know, Hollywood production. But them chairs came through and they were just shooting things down, turning things into powder, like the movie World at War with Tom Cruise. That's how Yahweh Shai is going to come. Okay, let's go back to the video. It's a lot of information and prophecy coming out, man. We're so close to getting out of here. It's beautiful to see that in everything that we've been standing upon. Look how the Lord is manifested and making things more clearer. All right, because that's what it means when it tells you in the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Though they tarry, wait for them, because they're going to speak. All right, these words are going to become more clear and clearer as we get closer to the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay.
On earth. The Sumerian texts, officially the oldest written documents we have, describe a non-human species that created a unique species of human via genetic modification.
Yeah, that's why you gotta, with some of these videos, you gotta chew the meat, spit out the bones. A lot of this information is garbage, you know, stuff that if you're not rooted in the scriptures, it could bug you out. Okay, there's no species mixing and, you know, genetically altering genes. Okay, no, the angels don't even have worldly, lustly, you know, spirits. Okay, you know, they don't have sex, they don't eat. The angels don't do none of those things. Okay, But the angels do take the orders of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right? And they fulfill their roles and mission that are given unto them, okay? They have a purpose, you see? Matter of fact, let me just grab another precept, all right? Let me come back to that. Just grab another precept as the Lord opens my mind to it. Just going to grab him. Okay, let me see. This is Zechariah chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, "Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits." Which shows you that the chariots are able to grow or decrease in size. Okay. The chariots are capable of doing many wondrous things. Okay. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And who stole a nation, right? These Edomites. They stole the children of Israel, trodden us down, okay, and, murdered the northern kingdom tribes, and then they called it manifest destiny, okay, and believed that the Most High was with them and that they were never going to have to be paid back for what they've done, all right? But when these chariots come in full force, as the scriptures say that the Lord is going to fight for Zion, all right, and these chariots are going to fly in formation as the birds do when they're traveling. You see the birds traveling in the V formation, Yahweh Shai is going to lead the charge, all right, because the one in the front, the bird in the front, is the one that is the strongest, that breaks the wind and allows the other birds to be able to maintain their energy. There's a science behind it. It's the reason why the birds fly like that, so they can have longer air travel. But the point is that we learn from the animals, right? That the animals teach us. So Yahweh Shai is going to pretty much come with the angels as in a formation like his army, okay? And he's going to be the one in the front leading the charge for the angels to come and bring judgment upon all you heathens that afflicted us. Okay? And that's the message to you Edomites, all right, as well as you other nations, especially you top banking families, okay? So this is a curse. A curse is something that's going to be ill. It says, "And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that swear falsely by my name," right? Because you got these Edomites that have predicated a lie over the minds of the people, especially our people. Still to this day, our people are trapped in them holes, believing in Jesus Christ, when Yahweh Shai's name was never Greek. Okay. All right. Yahweh Shai had a Hebrew name. He had Hebrew parents. Okay. And he was of the lineage of David. All right. And the lineage of David stems from what? The tribe of Judah. And you would call the tribe of Judah today, so-called, would be American Negroes. All right. But they got this name, Jesus Christ, as a stronghold over the minds of our people, which is who they believe on. Jake is so indoctrinated and under a spell that they even get tattoos of JC on their bodies. All right. So these Edomites swear by a false name. All right. It says, "And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof, the ray beams, right? Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, lift up now thine eyes and see what is this that goeth forth. Okay, and we understand what is getting ready to go forth. All right, these chariots are going to be made more manifested. Okay, let's go back to the video.
These non-humans then began mating with human women and created a new race of giants. This story is prevalent throughout our entire historical record and is found in practically every religious scripture on earth. Nearly every culture on the...
Yeah, that's why, you know, we had to cut these doctrines. You know, we had to cut these doctrines. All right. Matter of fact, let me just get this real fast. Like I said, with certain information, you gotta chew the meat and spit out the bones, because a lot of this is false information. All right. But nevertheless, it does bring out edification. Okay. But the angels neither eat. Matter of fact, let me Google it real fast, all right? Because I know it says that the angels neither eat nor neither eat or sleep. Neither eat or drink. No, that's not it. That's not it. It's I want to say it's in the gospel. That might be it. Matthew's 11 and 18. Matthew's 11 and 18. This is let me get that real fast. This is let me see. All right, bear with me for a second. I can bear with me. All right, here we go, brothers. I found it. Salakia, I had to search it up. But this is Matthew's 22. And let's start at verse 29. Let's read this in the NLT. It says, Yahushua replied, your mistake is that you don't know the scriptures and you don't know the power of the Most High. For when the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. And in this respect, they will be like the angels in heaven. So when those that even die and they go into a angelical state, their body goes into their spiritual house, they're likened unto the angels. All right. So even as it's comparing, the angels don't eat. They don't need to eat. They don't, because what is marriage? Marriage is the act of really sex. All right. So they don't partake in pleasures that we partake in on the earth in the flesh. All right. These are celestial beings. Okay. All right. That don't have these lustful ways. So no, the angels don't come down and lay with the women, right? And they create these super babies, and I saw false doctrine that that these Edomites have sown into the world to confuse the minds of the people. Okay, but if you're not studious, if you don't know, and you don't have the proper teachers, then you will believe in Esau's madness, all right, that he spews out, and you get caught up in that deception. All right, so let me fast forward a little bit I said a lot of this information is useless.
David Icke has compiled scores possession of a human's body as an not only read about.
Yeah, that's it. All right, because there's a lot of that's going into some left hand garbage. But let's play this one right here.
Something, because they want it to be true. I don't know why. And even for many years afterwards, I did not. I don't think there are any. At one time, I thought that there were, simply based upon documents that I'd seen while I was attached to the intelligence briefing team, the commander-in-chief of the Pacific Fleet. At that time, and even for many years afterwards, I did not believe that the government would use me in that way. There was no doubt of my loyalty to my country, and maybe that's why it was so easy to use me, because I wouldn't doubt that what I saw was real. But over the years, I've done a lot of research. And what I've discovered is there's no proof existing anywhere that extraterrestrials are real, or that have ever visited this planet, or that they exist anywhere in the universe. There is not one shred of evidence anywhere. There is lots of evidence, tons of it in fact, that there are a group of people who want us to believe in some extraterrestrial threat from space so that they can cause a world government, bringing together of all the people to resist that external threat. And the first time that I saw any reference to that, I was reading some papers from the Carnegie Endowment Fund, and there was a record of a speech. It was a dinner for Viscount Nishiki of the Japanese delegation, the Japanese Imperial delegation, in 1917. And John Dewey was one of the speakers. And the first sentence out of his mouth, as I was reading this, I almost fell out of my chair, because this was in 1917. And he said the best way to cause all people of the world to come together in one world government and end war forever would be if we were attacked by some other species from some other planet. And boy, that just clicked with me, and I knew that this is just another scam. This is the age of deception. There's no doubt about it. And then 8 times during Reagan's administration, he inserted almost the exact same phrase into 8 of his speeches. It's a scam. That's what I can tell you. What they call UFOs, these craft that fly around the sky, are real. But they're not piloted by some little green guy from some other planet. They're owned and operated by the United States of America for one, the Soviet Union for another, probably Great Britain, Canada. I think the first really operable ones were probably manufactured in Western Canada, in the wilderness, in a place especially built to create those machines, like we created the Manhattan Project, and the same kind of secrecy surrounded it. So the technology is real. It's been kept secret, and it's been used to promote this concept that there's an alien threat to this Earth. It's just an incredible deception, and I'm just amazed that people have fallen for it in the manner that they have.
Yep. So can Esau have fake chariots? Absolutely. Esau can have fake chariots, right? He can use his holograms, that look real. Okay. But let's, when we read scriptures like this, and I'm just bringing out certain scriptures to show you that, the deliverance is going to be from that fire. Okay. So when Esau brings out these things, you got to remember these precepts. Okay. This is Isaiah 26:20. It says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed." All right. And what is that indignation? Okay. That the Lord is going to send is the other nations shooting their arrows. Okay. The fire, which is going to be the end of Esau's world. Okay. Isaiah the 34th chapter, Second Ezra's the 16th chapter. These arrows are going to be shot into the ends of the world, all right, which is going to be the last final plague that the Lord is going to send upon this place in order to utterly destroy it. Okay, and that's what we're going to need to be spared from. You see, so that's when the chariots are going to beam the Lord's elect up. All right, it says 2 were in the field, and 1 was taken. Okay, meaning that there's going to be people that are going to be left behind. All right, not everybody's going to go into a chariot. Okay, 2nd Ezra 16. We get straight to the point. And 16, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. We know arrows can't end worlds. Okay, but these missiles, modern day missiles, are shaped like arrows. Okay, and they come out of silo, which the silo represents the quiver. Okay, all right, and that's why they're also known as glittering swords. They're going to fly through the sky and they're going to reach their targets. Okay, and they're going to fly at hypersonic speeds. You see, it's going to be a great destruction. It says 200 million missiles are going to destroy Babylon, which is America, and it's going to hit the land of Israel to dissolve the filth within the land. Okay, so it says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plague that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. So this is a plague. This is that's what makes it the indignation of the Lord's righteous anger, the wrath of the Lord. All right. And then the Lord said what? That there's going to be people that are going to feel that plague. Okay. This is, linking up the precepts. All right. So that when you understand the precepts, you won't get deceived. You be like, that's Esau shit up there. That ain't the Lord. I was trying to say he was gonna come like that. That's the white man's version. This is Zechariah 14 and 12, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. See? What's a depiction of that? Sarah Connor, when she had that dream, and she was holding on to the gate, and she was screaming because she felt that wall of fire. She seen that blast. All right, she seen that mushroom cloud. That's what people are going to experience, and they're going to feel that flame touch their flesh, and their flesh is going to consume away. All right, that's going to be the Lord's judgment. It's going to be a plague, so we want to be spared from that, man. Isaiah, let's go back to Isaiah 26 and 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. Right now, let's look up the word chamber, because when you look up the word chamber, it also goes into like a parlor. Okay, somewhere where you could sit down and relax, and the reason why the elect are going to be relaxed, because they're not going to feel that destruction. All right, this is the Hebrew word. I want to say it's chadar, chamber, room, parlor, innermost, or inward part within. Let's look up definition of parlor. Right, it says is a room in a home or hotel used for entertaining, guests, socializing, or relaxing. Historically, often reserved for formal company. You see, it's going to be, reserved. You know, that's bad right there. That's heavy right there. Cause it says it's gonna be reserved for formal company, right? Like exclusive only. And what does the scriptures say, right? The scriptures say that the bride, let me see. The bride, she's prepared for the wedding. Okay, let me see. Um mm, is it Revelation 21? I believe it's this. Let me see. This is Revelation. Oh, look at that. That's fire. Yep. Yep. Let me see. Um Yep, because it goes into the second death. Revelations 21 and 9. It says, and there came unto me one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, right? And talked with me, saying, come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. Okay. And you know, the bride is going to be the one that's going to be the elect. All right. That's been adorning himself for the bridegroom. All right. The bridegroom is Yahweh Shai. Okay. All right. And only the elect are going to make it into those ships. Matter of fact, I think it said the same thing. And because Revelation, the 18th chapter, goes into the destruction of Babylon. Let me see. Let me type that in again. All right, hold on. Bride. Maybe I'm thinking about. Maybe I'm thinking about defiled. She was not defiled. Let me see. There it is. Okay, that's what I'm thinking about. Yep, that's what I'm thinking about. All right, Revelations 14 and 4. Matter of fact, let me start from the top. It says, this is Revelation 14 and 1. It says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his father's name written in their foreheads, right? Which that goes into the Most High Yahweh's name and his beloved son Yahweh Shai's name. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let's go Revelation 14 in the NLT. Then I saw the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him were 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads, okay, which is the mark of exemption from the judgment, all right? And I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Okay, see, redeemed from the earth. Okay, all right, and that's the brethren out there. All right, you know that are able to take heed to this word, that are able to learn this song. Okay, and then you have the sincere sisters, the women, all right, that are, you know, now repenting and getting themselves right. All right, they're going to be redeemed from this earth. You know, Argazio,
Strong's G59, Agarazzo.
all right, redeemed, which just really means to be, you know, purchased, you know, bought back. All right. You know, let me see if it says something in the English. You know, let me see. Type in the word redeemed. Redeemed meaning to buy back, recover, exchange something for value, or to compensate for faults and restore reputation. See? So that's going to be the moment that, you know, our reputation is restored, you know, because we're going to have new bodies, you know, we're going to have new bodies, you know, we'll become sinless. All right. The Lord's going to strip us from this mortal and corruptible flesh. OK, so, you know, that's going to be a rejoicing moment, because, you know, that's when the Lord is going to show who he has chosen. You know, I choose you. OK, you know, so it says, these are they which were not defiled with women, you know, which these women are represented as the philosophies of the world, you know, the things and the ideology that, you know, Esau pushes out there. OK, all right, the deceptions. All right, especially even accepting, you know, this man's system and his chip. OK, you know, you can transcend, you can become a god artificially, you know, through technology. That's going to be a belief within people's minds that they can become somewhat better and never die and not age, and they're gonna buy into the sorcery and the witchcraft of the wicked. Okay, and that's going to lead them to the destruction. But the elect are going to refuse that information and left hand pseudoscience, that them lies, man. You know, so like Isaiah said, he said that the remnant is going to only stand upon Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So it says, for they are virgins, right? Not touched by these demonic ideas. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. See, so that's that parlor. That, you know, that's the elect going to get beamed up into that parlor. Okay, you know, they're going to be redeemed from the earth. That's what I was looking for. The Wadi Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, so let's go back and play the rest of this. And I'm gonna close it out.
In the absence of any proof whatsoever. I mean, they cite hearsay as proof.
Well, what about all of the alien abductions?
They're not abductions. They're the results of a tremendously successful and very sophisticated mind control operation, all of which has been in development. Well, they started working on those kinds of things since before World War II. But they have perfected them. On my website, I have a patent of a machine that can read your brainwaves, can recombine them in a computer and send them back to you and make you think things happened that never happened. I mean, you can't get a patent for something like that unless it really works. You have to prove it to the patent office. It works. A patent was issued. Also, the congressional investigations into the intelligence community has revealed the existence of these programs. I mean, there's no secret about it. It's documented. But that's what it is. It's not extraterrestrials coming down. The human body cannot pass through walls and roofs, or through windows that are closed. You know, this is all the product of the imagination and people's willingness to believe something because they want it to be true. I don't know why they would want it to be true. You see, because if it were true, these are not friendly aliens. They're doing some terrible things to people. If I were to kidnap somebody, pass them up through the roof, and take them somewhere, and perform operations on them and take samples of semen and ova from their, reproductive organs and plant thoughts in their mind and all this kind of stuff and then bring them back. Guess where I'd be right now? In prison. That's kidnapping. It's criminal. It's a terrible thing. So there's a morbid sense about all this too, is that people want to be hurt for some reason. I don't understand that. But that certainly is something that somebody needs to look at. Why do people feel that this needs to be real? What in them says, I want to be abducted and abused and kidnapped?
Yeah, well, people believe anything, That's why Esau sets up false prophets, false pastors, treats the people as cattle that is simple and easily led astray, So let's grab a couple more precepts and that'll be that. Let's go to Revelation 1:7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, Amen. So when Yahushua comes with these clouds, all right, the world is going to see him, and the world is going to know who he is coming for, who he has chosen, all right? And this is what we've been prophesying about for years, all right? There's going to be a great destruction and a great deliverance, and this is what we have to look forward to as being hopeful members of the Lord's elect, okay? So this is Psalms chapter 68, and 1, it says, to the chief musician, a psalm or song of David, let Yahweh by Shem Yahushai arise, let his enemies be scattered, let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away as wax melted before the fire. So let the wicked perish at the presence of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, but let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before our power, yet let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, sing praises to his name, extol him that rideth upon the heavens. By his name it says Jah, all right, which is Yah. It's just short for saying he, but his name is Yahweh, okay? But the Most High is not going to come. He's going to send his son Yahweh Shai, okay? And rejoice before him, okay? It says a father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is power in his holy habitation. The Most High setteth the solitaries and families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in dry land. O power, when thou wentest forth before thy people, when thou didst march through the wilderness, the earth shook, the heavens also dropped at the presence of the Most High. Even Sinai itself was moved at the presence of the Most High, the power of Israel. Thou, O power, didst send a plentiful rain, whereby thou didst confirm thine inheritance when it was weary. The congregation have dwelt therein. Thou, O power, hast prepared of thy goodness for the poor. Okay, we're the poor, but we're rich in faith. It says the Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. All right. And this is the good news that salvation is coming for us. So Esau can come with the deception and deceive these foolish people out here that don't know anything, that don't believe. But we know that this gospel, this good news is going to be true. And the way the Lord's going to come, we're going to wait. And we know that the Lord is going to deliver us. All right. And destroy our enemies before us. and even raise us up out of this lower state, okay, to even take vengeance upon our enemies, all right? So it says the kings of armies did flee a space, and she that tarried at home divided the spoils. Though you have linen among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. So that the chariots, oh man, the chariots, you know, there's going to be gold ones, there's going to be silver ones, different assorted color ones. There's going to be different styles of chariots, mighty vehicles, okay? When the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow and salmon. The hill of the, and here's the point, the hill of the Most High is as the hill of Bashan, and hill high as the hills of Bashan. Why leap ye, ye high hills? This is the hill which the Most High desireth to dwell in, and yeah, the Lord will dwell in it forever, okay? And that hill that the Lord is going to dwell in forever is Mount Zion, all right? That's the monument of the Lord, the Israelites, okay? It says the chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. See? So the Lord is getting ready to be sent back. He's getting ready to come and fight for the nation of Israel. And that's who he's going to choose. All right? He's going to gather the elect from the four winds of the earth. All right? And pick up the bulk of the elect here in Babylon the Great. So Lord willing, you were edified with that. I'm going to say shalom to the Lord's elect. Y'all brothers stay strong. We're almost out of here. Shalom, Akim.